It feels good to have you on The World Now at 4 on Hills TV. My name is Udwak Daniel. First, let's talk the headlines. Good evening. On the headlines, Tinubu, Akande, Oyegun, others break fast with Buhari Tuesday. Still on the headlines, WHO reports second Ebola death in northwestern Congo. Also on the headlines, Biden to talk with Mexican president on Friday. And on sports, Ronaldo scores 100th EPL goal. And now the news in detail. Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari was spotted with some ministers and senators as they broke the fast. As the State House memorandum addressed to the national chairman of the APC, Senator Abdullahi Adamu, by the chief press staff of Buhari, Ibrahim Gambari, saying that iftar will start by 6:30 p.m. According to the list of invitees cited by reporters in Abuja on Tuesday, those expected at the State House include former Lagos Governor and presidential aspirant Bola Tinubu, former national chairman of the APC John Oyegun and Adams Oshiomhole, former Adamawa Governor Murtala Nyako, and former Ogun Governor Olusegun Osoba, Borno State Governor Ali Modu Sheriff, former Zamfara Governor Ahmed Yerima, former Sokoto Governor Aliyu Wamako, former Edo Governor Oserihemen Osumbo, former Yobe Governor Bukar Ibrahim, General Muhammad Magoro, Senators Lawal Shuaibu, Abba Aji, Tijani Tumsa, Fati Bala, Abubakar Guru, and Nasiru Danu. The leaders are to arrive at the pilot gate for rapid COVID-19 testing at the State House Conference Center and be seated at the venue by 6 p.m. Still in the news, the federal government of Nigeria has clarified that it is not renaming the entire Lagos National Theatre complex built in 1976 to host the 1977 Festival of Arts, popularly known as Festac. The government clarified it is merely renaming the complex housing the edifice. The Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, said the complex housing the National Theatre should be known as the Lagos Creative and Entertainment Center, with 4 creative hubs and other facilities currently under construction. Mohammed made the clarification when he featured on a live program monitored by newsmen in Abuja on Tuesday. According to him, the music hub and the film hub will be respectively built and equipped with latest technology for recording and processing music and films. He said it would forestall Nigerian artists and filmmakers from going outside the country like South Africa and other places to record, process, and package their music or films. The minister said a moderate police station, fire station, and 500 capacity car parks were also being constructed in the complex. The minister expressed gratitude to President Muhammadu Buhari for providing the enabling environment for investment of $100 million by the Bankers Committee, led by the Central Bank of Nigeria, on the project. And now bringing you update on the Osinachi case, the FCT Police Command has transferred the case of the late gospel singer Osinachi Nwachukwu to the Department of Public Prosecutions. Recall that the Ekweme singer died on April 8 after allegedly enduring years of domestic violence from her husband, Peter Nwachukwu. The late singer's husband, Peter, was arrested after the family reported the matter to the police. The case has since been at the State Criminal Investigation Department as the police carried out autopsy on the late singer. Given update, the FCT Command spokesperson Josephine Ade said Osinachi's case has been transferred to the Department of Public Prosecution for legal advice. According to Ade, the case is no longer with State Criminal Investigation Department. The case was reportedly transferred after the release of autopsy reports on Monday. To court matters, a federal high court in Abuja has ordered the chairman Code of Conduct Tribunal, that is the CCT, Danladi Yakubu Umar, to submit himself for probe in relation to allegations of misconduct and assault being investigated by the Senate. Justice Inyang Ekwo, in a judgment on Tuesday, dismissed the suit Umar filed with the aim of stopping the investigation being conducted by the Senate Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Public Petitions on the allegations contained in a petition written against him. The judgment was on a suit filed by Umar with the Senate President's Senate Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Public Relations and the Attorney General of the Federation, that is the AGF, as defendants. Umar was accused in the petition of assaulting Clement Sargwak, a 22-year-old private security guard at Wuse 2, Abuja, on March 29, 2021. Justice Ekwo is in the judgment on Tuesday held that Umar's case lacked merit and that the plaintiff raised no reasonable ground on which basis the court could exercise its powers to stop the Senate from undertaking its constitutional functions. Justice Ekwo held that sections 88 and 89 of the 1999 Constitution, under which the CCT boss sought to be protected by the court, did not confer any protection or refuge on him. When we return, news from other parts of Africa. Stay with us. Thank you for staying tuned. Welcome back. Talking more stories, just days into a fresh outbreak of the deadly disease, Ebola, a second patient has died in Northwestern Democratic Republic of Congo, according to the World Health Organization, that is the WHO, on Tuesday. The National Institute of Biomedical Research genetic testing showed an infection confirmed last week in the city of Mbandaka was a new spillover event, a transmission from an infected animal and not linked to any previous outbreaks. The second fatality was a 25-year-old woman who was the sister-in-law of the first case, who WHO said on Twitter that she began experiencing symptoms 12 days earlier. The first patient began showing symptoms on April 5, but did not seek treatment for more than a week. He died in an Ebola treatment center on April 21. Kenya Kwanza Alliance Nairobi gubernatorial candidate Johnson Sakaja has tapped Kenya's bank chief operating officer James Njogare Muchiri to deputize him ahead of the May 16 deadline for naming running mates. This comes just days after the Azimio La Umoja camp unveiled its final lineup for the capital city on Friday last week. In a move similar to the Raila Odinga-led Azimio, the Deputy President William Ruto camp has also dipped into the corporate world to complete its lineup for the race for Nairobi's seats. We now move to the other parts of the world after this break. Don't go away.
It happened last year.
You're watching The World Now at Foreign Hills TV. We're glad to have you back. America's White House have revealed that U.S. President Joe Biden will hold talks with Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador on Friday to discuss migration, security, and economic cooperation. The two leaders will meet virtually ahead of the upcoming Summit of Americas, it added in the statement released on Tuesday. And away from that story, meanwhile, the first African-American to serve on a presidential security detail is among 3 people to have been pardoned by U.S. President Joe Biden. Abraham W. Bolden Sr., 86, was convicted in 1964 on bribery charges. The White House also announced that the prison sentences of 75 others, most of whom were serving time on low-level drug offenses, have been shortened. The U.S. Constitution grants presidents the authority to forgive convictions or shorten sentences. Tuesday's grants of clemency are the first of the Biden administration. The three people to be pardoned are Bolden from Chicago, Illinois, Betty to Joe Bogans, 51, from Houston, Texas, and Dexter Eugene Jackson, 52, from Athens, Georgia. Defense ministers from NATO and European Union countries have been meeting today at the United States Air Base in Ramstein, southwest Germany, to discuss providing more support to Ukraine. A major policy shift was announced by the German government, which has authorized the supply of about 50 Gepard Flak-Panzer anti-aircraft tanks. Before being shipped to Ukraine, the equipment are expected to get upgrades being held in storage for the past decade. Germany has long had a policy of not shipping heavy weaponry to conflict zones, but its government has come under increasing pressure to provide more help to Kiev. Making the announcement, the country's defense minister, Christine Lambrecht, said Germany would look into all possibilities how we can further support Ukraine in its courageous and important fight for freedom and for peace. The United Nations have expressed readiness to help evacuate those that have been trapped in Mariupol. During talks in Moscow between Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov and the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres, and speaking about the UN's proposals for the besieged city of Mariupol, Guterres said the organization was ready to fully mobilize its human and logistics resources to help save lives and evacuate people. Guterres said thousands of civilians in dire need of life-saving humanitarian assistance in the city. He also proposed work with the Red Cross to enable people holed up inside the Azovstal steel plant in Mariupol to leave. Up next is Business News on World Now at 4. Don't go away. Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. And now let's talk business. There are indications that Twitter's agreement with the Nigerian government will be reviewed in the months as Elon Musk sealed a takeover deal with the firm on Monday at a transaction value of $44 billion. Musk struck a deal to buy Twitter for roughly $44 billion in a victory by the world's richest man to take over the premium social network. Recalled that last June, the federal government had banned Twitter operations in Nigeria. Nigeria suspended the social media platform after it deleted a tweet by President Muhammadu Buhari. The federal government accused Twitter of being sympathetic to secessionists. However, after 222 days, that is about 7 months, and economic losses of about 546.5 billion naira, the federal government yielded to pressure, lifting the ban. The federal government said the ban was lifted after Twitter agreed to its demands, which include the microblogging platform registering in the country, appointing a designated country representative, complying with tax obligations in Nigeria, enrolling Nigeria in its portal for direct communications between government officials and representatives to manage prohibited content that violates Twitter community rules and respecting extant local laws. The Minister of Information, Lai Mohammed, had said that Twitter would open its Nigerian office within the first quarter of 2022. Although a month into the second quarter, nothing of such seems to be in the pipeline. Meanwhile, Executive Secretary, Association of Telecommunications Companies of Nigeria, that is the ATCON, ATCON, Ajibola Olude, said with the sale of Twitter to Elon Musk, he may call for a review of the agreement the social media platform had with the Nigerian government if he thinks that the agreement will not promote the business of Twitter. Still in the news, the federal government has announced that Nigeria will soon commence the production of 42.74 billion metric ton, that is the empty bitumen, which has been left fallow for years. This was according to the Minister of Mines and Steel Development. Olamilekan Adigbite in press and briefing on the concession of the delineated Nigerian bitumen blocks on Monday in Abuja. He said the cost of road construction in the country would ultimately reduce with the local production of bitumen. Adigbite urged and observed that local bitumen production would save the country foreign exchange and generate income for the government, adding that Nigeria ranked 6th in the world in terms of bitumen reserve. He said the country was now poised to begin the production of bitumen locally, as it has appointed a transaction advisor to oversee the process. He further slated and stated that to ensure that Nigeria's bitumen resources are fully harnessed for industrial and infrastructural development, he constituted a 9-member Ministerial Bitumen Development Committee on 31 January 2020. The Bureau for Public Procurement had earlier issued a notification of no objection on June 16, 2021. Subsequently, the Ministry of Mines and Steel Development issued a letter of award on November 11, 2021 to PricewaterhouseCoopers to act as its transaction advisor and program manager for the concessioning of bitumen blocks to potential investors, Nigeria, to start off production of 42.7 billion MT bitumen deposit. Zambia's President Hakainde Hichilema has thanked China for coming on board to commit and join other creditors in the International Monetary Fund, that is the IMF, Zambia debt restructuring process. Speaking during the first quarter of the 2022 press conference at State House in Lusaka on Monday, Hichilema emphasized that it will be difficult for the government to record sustainable economic development with the current debt levels. He said that to this effect, Zambia has recorded progress with the debt restructuring program, which is targeted at restoring and reviving the country's economy. Hichilema added that contrary to assertions by some sectors of the society that he was ignoring China in the IMF negotiation process, he personally engaged China and was proud to announce that China is now part of the Common Framework Committee. The head of state explained that within the 8 months that the United Party for National Development, that is the UPND, has been in office, Zambia is on course with the debt restructuring, adding that all the required components have already been put in place. The World Now at 4 continues with the 12th Ministerial Conference of the World Trade Organization, that is the WTO, taking place from June 12 to 15 in Geneva. The Ministerial Conference, that is the MC, is the highest decision-making body of the 164-member Geneva-based multilateral body. WTO mentioned in a statement through a communication forwarded to WTO members on April 25. WTO Director General Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, Chair of the 12th MC Mr. Timur Soleimani of Kazakhstan, and General Council Chair Ambassador Didier Chambovy of Switzerland informed delegations that the WTO's 12th MC will take place on June 12 to 15, 2022 at WTO headquarters in Geneva. The meet was originally scheduled to take place from November 30 to December 3rd last year, but was postponed in view of the outbreak of Omicron variant, which led to the imposition of travel restrictions and quarantine requirements in Switzerland and many other European countries. The conference will be attended by trade ministers and other senior officials from the member nations. Rising living costs, the IMF also said the Pakistani authorities had requested to extend the EFF arrangements through June 2023 after the talks in Washington agreed to drop the subsidies. From April to June, Pakistan will be given more than $2 billion of subsidies to the oil and power sectors. And now let's have you know the business leaders in the United Kingdom have urged the Prime Minister to make this year's extra bank holiday marking the Queen's Platinum Jubilee permanent. This was contained in an open letter. The CBI, UK Hospitality and a host of well-known brands said a thank holiday would honor the monarch and public service. They argued that the new holiday would provide an economic boost after COVID. The open letter to Prime Minister Boris Johnson and Chancellor Rishi Sunak signatories said that making the holiday permanent would provide a moment every year for individuals and communities to come together to thank those who have contributed in ways big and small to making our country a better place to live. According to research, government figures have overestimated the cost of a new bank holiday by about 500 million euros, although this year's extra day off is set to take place on 3rd June. We now move to business news. I beg your pardon. We now move to sport news on The World Now at 4. Stay with us.
Good evening and welcome to Sport News on World Now at 4. I'm Richard Badung. Super Eagles may play their 2023 African Cup of Nations qualifying return leg against Sierra Leone at the Lansana Conte Stadium in Conakry, the capital of Guinea. Nigeria are in Group A for the AFCON qualifiers alongside Sierra Leone, Guinea-Bissau, and Sao Tome and Principe, or Mauritius. The Eagles are billed to begin their qualifying campaign against the Leon Stars in Nigeria in the first week of June and will be seeking a win after failing to defeat their West African counterparts during their qualifying series for the 2021 edition in Cameroon. Nigeria were previously expected to play the return leg of the encounter against Sierra Leone at the Freetown National Stadium, but the facility is currently under construction, which has led the Sierra Leone Football Association to look for other options. The Sierra Leone Football Association have therefore moved to secure another venue for the home matches and are considering the Lansana Conte Stadium. The two top-placed teams in each of the 12 groups at the end of the qualifying campaign will qualify for the 34th edition of the AFCON finals taking place in Ivory Coast in 2023. Meanwhile, Super Eagles midfielder Wilfred Ndidi is a major doubt for Nigeria's 2023 Africa Cup of Nations opening qualifying game against Sierra Leone, as he will be recovering from a knee injury suffered in the UEFA Europa Conference League round of 16 second leg tie against Stade Rennais on March 17. The midfielder was ruled out for the rest of the season, thereby missing the Eagles' Qatar 2022 World Cup playoffs against Ghana in March, as the squad failed to qualify for the Mundial for the first time in 16 years. According to Leicester City manager Brendan Rodgers, Ndidi will not be back for the Foxes' last game of the season against Southampton on 22nd May. And according to reputable football statistics website, the Nigerian will only return to training, not full fitness, on May 31. The Eagles are in Group A alongside Sierra Leone, Guinea-Bissau and Sao Tome and Principe, or Mauritius. When the two encounter themselves, one will definitely make the fourth man in the group, with the first two games in the group booking an automatic qualification for the AFCON. Still on sports, world marathon champion Ruth Chepngetich is the new Athletics Kenya national champions, women's 10,000-meter champion. Chepngetich was fresh from winning a maiden Kenya Prison Service women's 10,000-meter title, blew away the field from the first lap for a front-running display to win in 31 minutes and 47.9 seconds. Chepngetich teammates, the 2018 Africa 10,000-meter champion Alice Aprot, signaled a return with a second-place finish in 32 minutes 1 second as Judy Coleman from Kenya Defence Forces, that is KDF, came third in 32 minutes 32 seconds. The 2021 Chicago Marathon champion, while relishing her victory, said it felt good to win being our second track event and victory after Kenya presents triumph. That was according to Chepetich. And that's the sport news on World Now at 4. I'm Richard Badung. Over to Udwak Daniel for the rest of the news.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Richard Badung, thank you for that input from sports. Let us quickly close the news, but before we call it a close, another look at the headlines. We told you Tinubu, Akande, Oyegun, others break fast with Buhari Tuesday. We also told you WHO reports second Ebola death in northwestern Congo. We brought to the fore the fact that Biden to talk with Mexican president on Friday. And that's The World Now at 4 on Hills TV. Remember to visit us on Facebook at Hills TV, Instagram at Hills TV. Our YouTube channel is at Hills TV. My name is Udwak Daniel. Thank you for watching.